There comes a moment when you get tired. Not tired in your body, but tired in your spirit. Tired of crying over the same pain. Tired of waiting for someone to treat you right. Tired of betraying yourself just to be loved by someone who never saw your value. Let me tell you something. It's not weakness to feel that way. It's awakening. Because the truth is, the person you've been fighting to love was never meant to be your peace. You've been so busy proving your loyalty to the wrong people that you forgot what it feels like to be loyal to yourself. You know what happens when you keep betraying your own worth? You start shrinking yourself to fit into places you've outgrown. You start apologizing for being too sensitive, too emotional, too kind. But here's the truth. You were never too much. They were just too small to handle your depth. Stop apologizing for caring deeply. Stop apologizing for having a good heart. And stop begging people to see your value when they were blind by choice. Denzel once said, "Don't aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference." And I'll tell you, don't just aspire to be loved. Aspire to be respected. Because love without respect isn't love. It's dependency. When you betray your worth just to keep someone in your life, you're not saving a relationship. You're slowly losing yourself. Every time you accept less than you deserve, you tell the world what you think you're worth. Every time you allow disrespect because you're afraid to be alone, you send a message that your peace is negotiable. But let me remind you, your worth is not up for discussion. It doesn't rise and fall based on who chooses to stay. You were valuable before they came. You will still be valuable long after they're gone. So stop explaining your heart to people committed to misunderstanding it. Stop fighting for a seat at tables where you were never meant to sit. When someone can't see your worth, don't argue. Stand up and walk away with grace. Because the moment you do, you tell the universe, I'm ready for more. I'm ready for better. I'm ready for peace. Look at yourself, not with judgment, but with compassion. You've given so much. You've loved even when you were breaking. You've forgiven what should have been unforgivable. And still, here you are, still standing, still breathing, still rising. This is your mirror moment. That sacred second when you finally realize, I've been betraying my own heart just to prove my love for others. No more. You cannot heal in the same place that keeps wounding you. You cannot grow where your spirit is not respected. You cannot be free if you keep chaining yourself to people who only show up when it's convenient. You deserve people who see your light, not just when it's shining, but when it's dim and trembling. You deserve consistency. You deserve respect. You deserve peace. And if that means walking away alone for a while, walk away with your head held high. Because walking alone with self-respect is better than walking together in self-betrayal. It takes courage to stop betraying yourself, because sometimes choosing yourself feels like losing everything. But let me tell you, losing people who were never loyal to your spirit is not loss. It's liberation. Denzel said once, without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. And that goes for your self-love too. If you want to rebuild your worth, you've got to commit to it daily. Every time you say no to something that disrespects your peace, you're saying yes to your growth. Every time you choose silence over proving your point, you're protecting your energy. Every time you walk away from chaos, you're walking toward freedom. And you know what? That's how you take your power back. Boundaries are not walls, and they are doors. Doors that open only for peace, respect, and love that aligns with your worth. Stop feeling guilty for protecting yourself. Stop feeling bad for saying no. You're not being difficult. You're being disciplined with your peace. You've spent enough time trying to please people who would never do the same for you. Now it's time to pour that energy into yourself. Because when you start treating yourself like someone worthy of love, you set the standard for how others must treat you. Your peace is sacred. Your time is precious. And your worth, it's non-negotiable. The moment you stop betraying yourself, you're reborn. You start walking differently. You start speaking differently. You start glowing differently. Because peace changes your posture. It makes you walk like you know you belong wherever God places you. And hear this? You were never asking for too much. You were just asking the wrong person. So instead of asking for closure, start asking for clarity. Instead of asking for love, start asking for alignment. Instead of chasing acceptance, start honoring your truth. Because when you finally remember who you are, the person who hurt you loses their power. I am done betraying myself for the comfort of others. I am done dimming my light to keep others warm. I am worthy of respect, peace, and love that stays. I release guilt. I release fear. I release the need to be chosen. I choose myself now, fully, fiercely, completely. I am enough. I have always been enough. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference, starting with yourself. You see, real power isn't about who you can keep. It's about who you can walk away from and still keep your peace. You've cried enough? You've tried enough. Now it's time to rise. You are not tired because you are weak. You are tired because your spirit is ready for change. And when you finally stop betraying your worth, life will start aligning with your value. You will attract peace. You will attract love that doesn't hurt. You will attract everything that honors the healed version of you. So today, stand tall, breathe deep, and say this with your whole heart. Sometimes, peace doesn't come after the pain ends. Sometimes, peace begins the moment you stop fighting the pain itself. You see, we often think that peace comes when everything is fixed, when the people who hurt us apologize, when the memories stop hurting, when our heart finally stops remembering. But the truth is, peace begins the moment you stop chasing what broke you. Because when you keep revisiting your pain, it's like reopening the same wound every day. And you can't heal when you're still bleeding from yesterday. So, today, I'm speaking to the tired heart. The one that has carried disappointment after disappointment. The one that's been misunderstood, overlooked, and maybe even betrayed by the people it trusted most. You've spent nights wondering why it happened. You've asked, why me? But maybe the real question is, why still hold on? You can't find peace while holding on to a storm. You can't breathe freely while standing in the ashes of something that burned you. There comes a time, a sacred, quiet moment, when you must choose yourself. Not out of selfishness, but out of survival. Because peace is not something you wait for. Peace is something you create. You can't rewrite what's already been lived. The pain happened. The words were said. The tears were real. But you know what else is real? Your strength. Your heart didn't break to punish you. It broke to awaken you. To make you see that even in your lowest moments, you are still standing. Even when everything falls apart, you still have breath. And that breath, that life, that hope, is your beginning again. You don't find peace by erasing pain. You find peace by honoring it, then releasing it. When you accept that some chapters must close without your permission, you free yourself from needing to understand every ending. Because sometimes what hurts you most is exactly what pushes you toward your greatest peace. Denzel once said, "Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success." And I say this, every heartbreak, every loss, every betrayal, it's not your ending. It's your training ground. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Prepared to recognize real love when it comes. Prepared to appreciate calm after chaos. Prepared to build peace, because now you know what it feels like to live without it. Peace isn't a destination, my friend. It's a daily decision to not let your heart be ruled by what tried to destroy it. It's waking up and saying, I may not be where I want to be yet, but thank God I'm no longer where I was. That's peace. That's growth. That's power. It takes courage to stop replaying the pain. It takes strength to stop rewriting conversations in your head, trying to find the sentence that could have saved it all. Because the truth is, it was never yours to save. You cannot rescue what was meant to leave. You cannot force peace out of people who thrive in chaos. So stop waiting for closure that may never come. Stop needing someone else's apology to set you free. You can forgive in silence. You can heal privately. You can choose peace without anyone else's permission, because the peace you seek has always been inside you, buried under layers of heartbreak, waiting to be remembered. When you finally start to let go, you'll feel it. The air becomes lighter. Your chest feels less heavy. You start smiling for no reason. You start sleeping again. You realize that peace isn't about forgetting the pain. It's about remembering who you are beyond it. You are not your heartbreak. You are not your trauma. You are not your mistakes. You are the person who survived them, and that's power. That's something to be proud of. Repeat this softly with your hand over your heart. I release the need to understand what hurt me. I no longer chase what left. I choose peace over pain. I choose myself over suffering. I am healing. I am whole. I am free. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. And I'll add, peace is a greater reward than closure. Don't let the noise of your pain drown out the sound of your peace. You've made it through too much to go back to what broke you. Today you rise, not because it's easy, but because you deserve to live free. There comes a time in life when you look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself anymore. Not because you've changed for the better, but because you've given so much of yourself away trying to keep someone else happy. You've carried people who never once tried to walk beside you. You fought for relationships that only fought against you. And somewhere along the line, you forgot that you matter too. Let me tell you something. That exhaustion in your soul, that ache in your chest, that silent scream behind your smile, it's not weakness. It's your heart begging you to let go, because you can't heal if you keep reopening the same wound. You can't move forward while dragging yesterday's pain behind you. And you cannot become who you're meant to be if you keep holding on to who hurt you. You can't heal in the same place that broke you. You've been standing in the fire trying to convince yourself it's warmth. You've been holding on to broken glass, hoping one more chance will fix it. But listen, love is not meant to destroy you. Real love doesn't make you question your worth. Real love doesn't demand you to break yourself in half just to feel whole. And I know it hurts to walk away. I know you've replayed every memory, asking yourself where it went wrong. But sometimes it's not about who's right or who's wrong. It's about who's ready to grow. You can't save someone who refuses to meet you halfway. You can't keep pouring into a cup that's full of holes. You can't fix someone who finds comfort in breaking you. At some point, you've got to say, enough. I deserve peace, because peace is not selfish. Peace is sacred. Peace is the reward for finally listening to your soul. So, stop betraying yourself to be loved. Let's talk about self-betrayal. You know, that quiet pain of smiling when you want to cry. Of saying it's okay when it's not. Of pretending you're strong when you're breaking inside. You betrayed your heart just to keep someone from leaving. You accepted half love because you were afraid to be alone. You kept forgiving the same pain, thinking maybe this time it'll change. But here's the truth. When you betray yourself for someone's approval, you lose twice. You lose them eventually. And you lose you in the process. You are not here to be tolerated. You are here to be cherished. You are not a second choice, a backup plan, or a maybe later. You are the kind of soul that deserves a love that shows up. Not just when it's easy, but when it's hard, messy, and real. So stop shrinking to fit their comfort. Stop twisting your truth to match their convenience. Stop betraying your worth just to keep the peace, because peace built on pretending is just another form of pain. And that is why you teach people how to treat you. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you tolerate. And every time you accept less, you train people to keep giving you less. Let me tell you something powerful. When you start respecting yourself, you will lose people who never respected you. And that's okay. That's not rejection. That's alignment. Because you're finally rising to a level they can't reach. You're finally choosing yourself over their comfort. It's not arrogance. It's awakening. And you might feel lonely at first. But that's just the silence of peace replacing the noise of pain. You'll notice it, how your mind gets quieter, how your heart beats lighter, how the weight starts to lift. That's not loneliness. That's freedom. Freedom from chasing validation. Freedom from proving your worth. Freedom from trying to be enough for someone who never deserved you. The power of walking away. You want to know real strength? It's not holding on. It's letting go when you've done all you can. It's walking away from the familiar to protect your peace. That's not weakness, that's power. That's courage disguised as surrender, and yeah, it'll hurt. Your heart will ache. You'll miss them. You'll miss the memories. You'll miss the what could have been. But every step you take away from that pain is a step closer to your healing. You'll look back one day and say, I'm glad I had the strength to walk away. Because if I didn't, I'd still be breaking where I was meant to bloom. Boundaries are acts of self-respect. Stop feeling guilty for protecting your energy. Stop explaining why you need space. Stop apologizing for saying no. Boundaries don't make you cold, they make you clear. Boundaries are love with direction. They say, I still care, but I care about me too. Because love without boundaries is chaos. And peace without protection is temporary. You are not obligated to carry everyone's pain at the cost of your own peace. You can love people and still let them go. You can forgive and still move on. You can care and still choose yourself. That's growth. That's maturity. That's self-respect. Reclaim your power and embrace change. You are not a victim of what they did. You are a survivor of what you allowed. But now, you are becoming a warrior of what you choose. And your choice, from this day on, is to rise. You don't owe them revenge. You don't owe them closure. You owe yourself freedom. Because the real victory isn't proving them wrong. It's proving to yourself that you can heal, that you can rebuild, that you can still believe in love without losing faith in yourself. Let go of the anger. It poisons your peace. Let go of the regret. It blinds your future. Let go of the illusion that they were your only chance at happiness. Because the truth is, your happiness was never meant to come from them. It was always meant to rise from within you. Rebirth, this is when you finally let go. You'll notice something. The sky looks different. Your laughter sounds real again. Your heart doesn't ache, it breathes. That's the rebirth. That's the moment you realize you didn't lose them. You found you'll walk taller. You'll smile deeper. You'll love wiser, because pain taught you what peace really means. And when you heal, you don't go back to who you were. You become someone new, someone stronger, someone unshakable. I release the need to hold on to what hurts. I forgive not because they deserve it, but because I deserve peace. I let go of pain and I welcome healing. I am no longer a prisoner of my past. I am free. I am worthy. I am enough. You see, letting go is not losing. It's becoming stronger, becoming wiser, becoming whole again. And when you walk away from what broke you, don't look back, because you're not walking away in anger. You're walking toward peace, and peace is the most powerful thing you'll ever own. So lift your head, straighten your spine, wipe your tears, and say it with me. I am no longer fighting for their attention. I am standing for my worth. I am done surviving. I am ready to live. There comes a moment after the storm, when the silence feels almost foreign, when your heart, used to chaos, doesn't know what to do with peace. But that silence, that sacred calm, is where your healing begins. That's where you start to rebuild. Not from the pieces they left you with, but from the power you always had within. Because peace is not something you find. It's something you decide. And self-respect? That's the foundation of that peace. You see, rebuilding yourself after betrayal, after loss, after heartbreak, is not about proving anything to the world. It's about proving something to you, that you can fall and still rise. That you can lose everything that was never meant for you and still gain everything that truly matters. When the noise fades, you meet yourself again. At first, it feels uncomfortable, even painful, because silence forces you to hear the echoes of everything you ignored. But it's in that stillness that truth whispers, you deserve better. You always have. You see, when you've spent years running after people's approval, silence feels heavy because it holds you accountable. But listen, you can't heal in distraction. You can't find peace if you keep numbing the pain. Sit with yourself. Breathe with yourself. Hear your thoughts, even the ugly ones. Let the tears fall. They're not weakness. They're cleansing. You can't rebuild on a foundation you've buried under denial. Face it, feel it, free it, then begin again. Forgive yourself for forgetting your worth. We talk so much about forgiving others. But let me ask you, have you forgiven yourself? Forgive yourself for staying too long, for loving too hard, for silencing your voice just to keep the peace. Forgive yourself for thinking that if you gave more, they'd love you better. Forgive yourself for not knowing your value back then, because you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. And now that you know better, you'll do better. Stop beating yourself up for the version of you that didn't know how to let go. That version of you, she was just trying to survive. She fought for love with a heart that refused to give up on people. And that's not weakness, that's proof of your goodness. But now, it's time to fight for you, because the real power is not in being unbreakable. It's in learning to rebuild with grace. You are the home you've been searching for. You kept looking for safety in others, in their words, their promises, their arms. But peace was never out there. It was always in you. You are the home your soul has been aching for. And when you start treating yourself like that, when you start honoring your boundaries, speaking your truth, feeding your mind with kindness, you stop begging for crumbs of love. You become whole. You become your own sanctuary. Because peace isn't found in who stays or who leaves. It's found in the way you stay true to yourself. You don't chase love anymore. You attract it by being love. You don't plead for respect. You command it by respecting yourself. And the moment you realize your worth isn't tied to someone else's recognition, that's the moment you become untouchable. Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. And that's true for healing too. Peace isn't a one-time feeling. It's a daily choice. You've got to protect it like it's sacred, because it is. Build routines that feed your spirit. Wake up with gratitude. Speak kindly to yourself. Forgive quickly, but remember wisely. Surround yourself with people who match your growth, not your pain. Healing doesn't happen overnight. It happens every time you choose not to go back to what broke you. It happens when you refuse to answer that call from the past. When you stop reopening doors that lead to nowhere. When you choose to rest instead of chase. Peace requires boundaries. It requires consistency. It requires you to protect it like your life depends on it. Because in truth, it does. Self-respect is a mirror of your standards. You teach the world how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. So when you demand respect, make sure you're giving it to yourself first. Self-respect is not arrogance. It's knowing your value without begging for validation. It's standing tall in your truth even when others don't understand it. It's saying, I can love you and still choose me. Every time you put yourself last, you tell your soul it doesn't matter. Every time you silence your needs, you shrink your light to fit someone else's shadow, but not anymore. No more shrinking. No more settling. No more self-betrayal disguised as love. From this day on, you walk like you belong, because you do. From this day on, you speak like your words have weight, because they do. From this day on, you move like someone who finally remembers who she is, because you are. Find strength in solitude. When you rebuild, you'll spend a lot of time alone. And that's not punishment, that's preparation. The silence you fear is the space your soul needs to grow. Because when you're alone, you stop performing. You stop pretending. You stop proving. You start being. You start listening to your intuition. You start trusting yourself again. You start realizing that your worth was never lost, just buried beneath noise. Alone doesn't mean empty. Alone means free. Alone means peaceful. Alone means powerful. And when you reach that place of calm independence, you become unstoppable. You'll no longer chase connection. You'll attract alignment. There will come a morning when you'll wake up, look in the mirror, and smile, not because everything's perfect, but because you are finally at peace. That's the real victory. That's the quiet, unshakable strength that no heartbreak can take away. You'll see the same eyes that once cried in the dark, now glowing with wisdom. The same heart that once broke, now beating with purpose, and you'll realize the version of you that was shattered didn't die. She was reborn into someone who doesn't chase love, she embodies it. Someone who doesn't beg for peace, she radiates it. Someone who no longer looks for validation, she walks in her worth. I honor myself. I protect my peace. I forgive my past. I trust my journey. I am building something beautiful and within me. My peace is my power. My worth is unshakable. I am whole. I am healed. I am free. When the world looks at you, they might see the scars, the pain, the stories. But when you look at yourself, I want you to see the survivor. The woman who turned her pain into peace and her silence into strength. You are no longer defined by what broke you. You are defined by what you chose to become after. So walk in that light. Speak with that truth. Move with that purpose. Because peace isn't something you wait for. It's something you become. And when you stand in that peace, when your soul finally rests in its worth, nothing, and no one can shake it again. Quiet, golden, still, when the pain doesn't wake you first. When your heart doesn't ache the way it used to. When your mind, once heavy with memories, feels light, like breath after rain. That's not just healing. That's freedom. And freedom, real freedom, isn't about running from the past. It's about rising beyond it. It's standing tall in the ashes of what was and realizing you didn't just survive, you transformed. You are no longer who you were. Look at yourself now. You're not the same person who cried themselves to sleep, who begged for answers, who kept giving chances to people who never earned them. You've evolved. You've matured. You've risen. That old version of you, the one who tolerated disrespect, who thought she had to earn love, who confused attachment for connection, she's gone. You buried her with your tears. You healed her with your silence. You set her free with your forgiveness. Now you walk differently. You speak differently. You feel differently. Because once you've walked through fire and come out whole, you stop fearing the heat. You stop begging for acceptance. You stop chasing validation. You start walking like someone who finally knows you are enough. Freedom begins with ownership. Freedom doesn't come when life becomes easy. It comes when you stop blaming and start owning. You own your story. You own your mistakes. You own your growth. You stop saying, "They hurt me," and start saying, "I allowed it once, but never again." That's empowerment. Not revenge, not bitterness, but ownership. Because the moment you take responsibility for your healing, no one can ever take it away from you. You stop waiting for someone to fix you. You stop expecting closure from chaos. You stop searching for peace in people who only brought you pain. You realize the key was never in their hands. It was always in yours. And when you finally unlock yourself from the prison of blame, you step into the open field of freedom. Turn the pain into purpose. Every scar you carry has a story. Every heartbreak shaped your strength. Every rejection redirected your path. So instead of asking, "Why me?" start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" Denzel Washington once said, "Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship." And he's right. Because pain, when faced with courage, becomes power. The fire that tried to burn you forged you. The heartbreak that tried to break you rebuilt you. The silence that once scared you taught you peace. You don't need to erase your past to move forward. You need to own it. Let it shape your wisdom, not your wounds. You're no longer just surviving what happened. You're transforming it. You're turning your pain into purpose. And that's what freedom feels like. Protect your energy. Like a crown wants you. Find peace. Protect it like your life depends on it. Don't let just anyone have access to your spirit. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table, especially those who only come to eat and never bring anything. Your peace is sacred. Your energy is valuable. Your presence is gold. Stop explaining your boundaries to people committed to misunderstanding you. Stop watering relationships that only drain you. Stop revisiting the places that keep you small. You've earned your peace. Don't hand it back out of guilt. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your healing. You don't owe anyone a version of yourself that you've already outgrown. You only owe yourself freedom. The power of becoming. When you've finally released the weight of the past, you begin to understand freedom is not about forgetting. It's about becoming. Becoming someone who doesn't just speak of faith, she lives it. Becoming someone who doesn't just chase peace, she embodies it. Becoming someone who doesn't just hope for better, she creates it. Every healed version of you teaches the world how strength looks in silence, how power looks in grace, how freedom feels when you've stopped apologizing for it. Because peace isn't quiet, it's powerful. It's a calm that comes from knowing who you are and what you deserve. And once you know that, nothing, and I mean nothing, can shake you again. You deserve a life that feels like peace. You've cried enough. You've carried enough. You've doubted yourself long enough. Now it's time to live, to laugh freely, to love without fear. You deserve mornings filled with gratitude, days filled with purpose, nights where your heart rests easy because you finally stopped fighting battles that were never yours. You deserve relationships that mirror your growth, not your wounds. You deserve conversations that feed your soul, not drain it. You deserve a life that feels like peace because you've earned it. And the beautiful thing is, you didn't find that peace in someone else. You built it from the inside out. Let your life be the proof. You don't have to prove anything to anyone anymore. Your peace is the proof. Your calm is the proof. Your glow, that light they can't dim, is the proof. Let your healing speak louder than your pain ever did. Let your strength whisper what your silence protected. Let your joy tell the story of your comeback. Because when you live empowered and free, you don't need to announce it. You become it. You are no longer defined by what broke you. You are defined by what you built after. You are not a victim of your past. You are a testimony of your power. You are the woman who walked through fire and came out gold. I am free from the past that once held me. I am no longer chasing closure. I am closure. I'm no longer surviving. I'm thriving. I choose peace. I choose growth. I choose me. Listen, life will hurt you. People will disappoint you. But you will rise. Because your story doesn't end where they left you. It begins where you decided to stand up again. And when they see you now, stronger, softer, wiser, they'll realize something they never understood before. You didn't just heal. You transcended. You turned your pain into poetry, your heartbreak into healing, your silence into strength, and that's what true power looks like. So hold your head high. Walk with peace. Speak with purpose. Love without fear, because you, my friend, are not broken anymore. You are reborn, and the world will feel your light. Every time you choose to live free,